And the reason that Charizard EX is so strong is because grass is just a type that is not very seriously supported in the game right now. They keep printing grass Pokemon, but all of their decks are so bad and so slow. But yeah, Iron Leaves is really sick because you can just bully the Charizard players. Do you want to go first? No, I don't. Just keep winning the coin flip, chat. Keep going second with my going second deck and climbing. And we actually get to put Miraidon in the active this time. Amazing. AKA grass has no synergy. It has synergy. It's just that even when your synergies come together, you don't deal any damage. all of your stuff is too slow to get set up and doesn't do enough damage once you do get set up. And all of your stuff is weak to fire. So if there's ever a fire type deck in the metagame, you just auto lose because all of your big Pokemon are getting one shot by single prizers. And so generally grass finds the most success when a non-fully grass-based deck is able to take advantage of a grass type attacker. Like this deck can just splash in the Iron Leaves EX. Lost Box was using like Tropius and Shaman V for a little bit. Yeah, so here's another Charizard deck. Once again, kind of chilling. Feels really bad here to use Professor's Research since I have the Iron Leaves in hand and I kind of need that to fight Charizard. I'm going to intentionally... I think I'm going to intentionally leave my peak acceleration very low damage. Found my energy. Nest Ball gets Iron Hands. This is my second Iron Leaf, so we need to hold on to this. Yeah, let me just peak acceleration for 60. Keep it nice and chill. And then we'll get the Lightning and another Grass Energy in play. Yeah. I think I should put the Grass over here, technically. So we kind of just get to abuse the early Mana Feast start. It gives us 2 free reps of peak acceleration, where we deal a little bit of damage, and then we get to take 2 basic energy from our deck and put it onto our Pokemon. Wow, they discarded Iono. Ultra Ball, you discard 2 cards from your hand, and then you get to search your deck for a Pokemon. So they're probably going to grab Charizard EX here if they have Rare Candy. Rare Candy lets you skip the middle evolution. They don't have to go Charmeleon into Charizard. They can use Rare Candy to go straight from Charmander to Charizard. Arven lets them search their deck for the Rare Candy. Yeah, they got Rare Candy and Forest Sealstone. So there's the Rare Candy for Charizard EX. When you evolve into Charizard EX, it allows you to search your deck for 3 energy and then attach them wherever you want. So they can put 2 energy on the Charizard EX and then 1 on the Mana Fee to pay for its retreat cost to bring this into the active. They also have Rotom V, which is a V Pokemon, so it can hold the Forest Sealstone. And then once per game, you can use the power of the Forest Sealstone to search your deck for any card of your choosing. And I think they chose Buddy Poffin, which gets them another Pidgey and another Charmander. They're going into Charizard EX super early here, which I don't necessarily disagree with. They're just going to take an early prize. I lose out on that grass energy, which I needed for the Iron Leaves. So that's pretty bad for me. I can Arven for Reboot Pod, though. So we're still in this. Plus Techno Radar. Okie dokie. So I'm going to Techno Radar. Just get rid of the Iron Treads. I don't need it. And I'll grab an Iron Crown. Big Miraidon, small Miraidon. The trouble is I just need attackers, you know? And from this position, Iron Leaves is kind of just my best bet. Bam, bam. Then I will Arven. We can grab Reboot Pod and Future Booster Energy Capsule. And so again, Reboot Pod lets me get that grass energy back, which I sorely need. Really funny when you think about it. We play Iron Leaves EX. Rapid Vernier activates. It brings itself into the active spot. Then I can snag all this energy from my other Pokemon that I need. Then I'll just manually attach onto the Miraidon EX, I think, is going to be my next attacker. Iron Leaves always is able to clear the Prism Edge. Yeah, I got to put the Future Booster on the Iron Leaves, actually. Just in case my opponent doesn't have an attacking follow-up to this, they would theoretically be able to buy a free turn because Rapid Vernier, the Iron Leaves, would be stuck in the active spot. And I don't want to spend an energy for its retreat cost. I want to keep 3 energy on it, so I always have the threat of Prism Edge. My opponent's already used their Forest Seal Stone, so they need to have Rare Candy Pidgeot or Rare Candy plus Ultra Ball. I guess if they have second Arven, they could get those pieces. But odds, I think, are slightly in my favor that my opponent can't actually attack me this turn. I was looking at chat. Did they actually find a Pokemon off of the Heavy Ball? Just a Charmander? And you got to remember, my second Iron Leaves is in the discard pile, so I need to find Super Rod as well. That's a good sign. Counter Catcher. Into Iono. That's great because I was going to Iono, so now I get to see a few extra cards. Iron Hand's currently stranded in the active. I guess I should have put the Future Booster Capsule on the Iron Hands, but they would have stranded the Iron Crown. They had a couple options there to strand something with the Counter Catcher. So my opponent's just looking to buy time. Tragic. I probably should Techno Radar here. The funny thing too is, like, you can play another Iron Leaves if I had the second one, but I had to discard it for my first research. And then Iron Leaves would just bring itself into the active and I get another knockout. Should I just Boss's Orders the Rotom V or nah? No, it doesn't matter. I think it's technically correct for me to Techno Radar here. Just to thin 2 Pokemon out of my deck. So I have a slightly higher chance next turn of top decking what I need. But if I had attached the Future Booster Capsule to Iron Hands and they strand the Iron Crown, it's slightly easier to get Iron Crown out of the active when it's stranded because I can attach into Energy Switch. I've already used my Reboot Pod, but I do have 2 Energy Switch in the deck. So they do have the Rare Candy? Dang. So they get to knock out the Iron Hands EX. Technically, that's a bad play for them. They have to Counter Catcher and bring up the Iron Leaves. Otherwise, I just get a Revenge KO. My opponent's already used 1 Super Rod. So they could be running low on energy here pretty soon. Once they get Pidgeot EX established, the deck really starts to bully you, but I think we're fine. What's your last card? No Counter Catcher? Yep, so be it. They go down to 3. I strike with the Iron Leaves. And then I just need something big enough to take the final knockout or find my Super Rod. I've also got Boss's Orders, which is nice. Try to fight this Rotom V, that is. Bench. You. Prism Edge. One-shots the Charizard EX, like I was talking about before. We get 2 prizes. Now we just have to get 1 more knockout. I also have Penny in the deck, which allows me to pick up the Iron Leaves and then replay it from my hand in order to reactivate its Rapid Vernier. But that actually wouldn't work, now that I think about it. No, it would. No, it wouldn't. Because the Grass Energy also comes back to my hand. We'll see. We'll see. Without another Super Rod, my opponent doesn't even have enough energy to attack, I think. 4. Boss. Yep, they're going for the Stranding again. I have Switch Cart, though. Yeah, we got it. We Switch Cart into Iron Leaves again. And then boss's orders to bring up the Rotom V. And because of Iron Crown, our damage is still boosted, so we can get the knockout here. Close, close. Sounds like Turo and Reboot Pod would be a nice combo to reuse Iron Leaves. Yeah, I've been using Penny, but I wonder if Professor Turo is a little bit better Genesaur. And if I'm being perfectly honest, the Reboot Pod doesn't feel that great. It's a great, you know, in case of emergency break glass sort of card, but it is incredibly difficult to argue using it over Prime Catcher, even in this deck. And the Turbo Hands version of this deck runs Prime Catcher. They don't even use Reboot Pod. But I'm going to jam with the Penny for a little bit and see how long I can get away with it before I make a decision. Because, like, in a scenario like this, right, Penny's great to just pick up the Iron Leaves. Another Charizard deck. The fact that Gyarados isn't a dragon is an outright tragedy of epic proportions. When there's a good Gyarados deck, you'll see me in competitive Pokemon. Yeah, generally they don't make good Gyarados. I do agree with that, Mad Wheels. What deck do you think will win EUIC? I was actually really hype on this deck. And now that I've actually had an opportunity to build and test it a little bit more, I've cooled down on that a little bit. The deck is probably too clunky, but I think Chen Pao is actually really well positioned. It doesn't get bullied nearly as hard, and it's up there with us. It's like a specialist deck that a lot of players have used. Knocking out the Charmander here is actually really good for me, so I'm kind of being chilling. I should Iono, shouldn't I? Lay. Attach. I guess we just attach the, Actually, attaching the XP share there is super int, because if I get future booster capsule, I can't attack. I should have just put the XP share on the Miraidon, but we get Switch Cart because I'm an animal, and I never get punished. Do I take Mew? I should technically take Iron Hands. Wait, no, it's in the prizes. Ooh, fun game. Put a crown down. That way we can knock out the Charmander. Accelerate some energies. So what my opponent can have is Rare Candy, Pidgeot EX, and then they can use the Pidgeot. It has quick search, so once per turn you can search your deck for any card, and that's what makes the deck so oppressive, is once they get the Pidgeot EX established, they can pull the card they need every turn. Every turn they have the one card they need to really destroy you. So it's just, now I can boss's orders, the thing you're trying to set up, etc., and they just beat you down that way. Yeah, and this is the other way you have to do it, is set up double Charmander. That way I can't prevent the Charmanders from becoming Charizards next turn, potentially. Arven for Rare Candy plus maybe Maximum Belt. Oh, for a Seal Stone, right? That makes sense. Pidgeot EX also has free retreat, so it lets you bring the right thing into the active spot when you need it. And then with 4 Seal Stone plus Quick Search, you can get another Rare Candy and Charizard EX. Actually, no, the Charmanders just came into play this turn. I'm almost misleading you by accident, chat. I have Professor's Research, or is it better to just Arven? Let me think. My Iron Hands EX is in the prize card, so I can't, I wasn't able to bring it out and set up, amp you very much, because Pidgeot EX is weak to lightning, so if I can amp onto the Pidgeot, I take 3 prizes, which is insane. It might be better for me to just research here. This hand is kind of bad. I don't need anything specific that I might not be able to get off of just research. My opponent's using the Forest Seal Stone here, which I kind of disagree with. Wow, they really wanted a Buddy Poffin. That seems like, I don't know. I guess it's a little spooky for them. I don't have a way to actually threaten the Rotom V. I don't think they would lose out on the Forest Seal Stone anytime soon. Whoa, they bring Manaphy into the active? Okay. So I can leave the Manaphy in the active. My opponent's thinking probably to just, you know, attach to it with Charizard EX and retreat it anyway. I'm attaching the Grass Energy over here so I can still play into Rapid Vernier if I need it. Got Techno Radar. These are all really great options for next turn. I think I get rid of this Miraidon. Grab Iron Crown, grab the Iron Leaves. That way I have Iron Leaves to respond to Charizard next turn. My opponent could just like Iono to disrupt that play because they can see that I have Iron Leaves now. I'm going to Techno Radar again. Pull this Miraidon just so I have some extra attackers, I think. I'm going to grab Iron Bundle as well, just so it's thinned out of the deck. If my opponent does Iono, it'll go down to the bottom, and I won't top deck it when I don't need it. We'll just Peak Acceleration and take the knockout. Another Grass Energy and a Lightning. Psychic. Put Grass over here. Psychic over here. And I think my attachments are a little sus. Because essentially I'm trying to have multiple options of what I want to attack with without putting all my eggs in one basket on this Iron Leaves. I probably could have even put a Grass Energy over here. Because now I have Penny, I can actually reuse this Iron Leaves. We'll see how my opponent reacts. The best outcome for them, I think, is evolve into the Charizard EX, then use like Counter Catcher to bring up the Iron Leaves and knock it out before I have the opportunity to strike back. So that means I should have put the Grass Energy elsewhere. With Quick Search on the Pidgeot EX, I can just find that card. Generally speaking, you don't want to take prizes early versus Charizard EX because you activate their counter catchers, and it boosts the damage of Burning Darkness. It deals more damage for every prize card that I've taken. Yeah, if I had the Grass Energy over here instead, then I'm able to respond with this Iron Leaves. So this forces me to Iono for Reboot Pod, and I actually have to play the Iron Leaves first and fully just go all in. Super cursed misplay. Yeah, counter catcher. Wow, they actually didn't bring up the Iron Leaves? That's crazy. Do I want to put the Psychic over here with the XP share or Grass? I think we do it like this. That way we have the Grass in the discard pile for the Reboot Pod. Bring up Iron Leaves. Yeah, this is really good for me. Holy smokes. Now, I've already used 2 Techno Radars. I mean, I've got Boss's Orders. I've got the whole kit and caboodle, so I'm actually not too worried. So I guess I bench the Iron Crown EX and the Iron Bundle, just so that... No, it doesn't matter. If they have Iono, it goes down to the bottom. So I would just need a way to get the Iron Crown, the Iron Leaves, rather. So I should Earthen Vessel, is what I should do. I'm just manipulating it so that I have more cards in my hand, so that if they do go to the bottom from Iono, I top deck things that I need to get the rest of the stuff I want. If that makes sense. And then I guess we can attach for turn as well, just because I can. Get this Miraidon EX set up. I think I'm way overthinking this. But at the same time, I also feel like I'm misplaying and not thinking enough. Oh, God. We got the Techno Radar off the prizes. So my opponent wants to Iono me to 2 here off of the Pidgeot EX. Because of Quick Search, they can grab it. Put me down to 2 cards and just pray that I don't have it. Just when Scarzig thought he was free from trolling, I've returned to the streams. Yo, 40W! Welcome in. But the good news here is that I just need to find some energy. It's going good. It's going good. Are you winning? I think I am. I'm playing against a deck that's really, really good at taking comeback victories. So we'll have to see. Professor Toro's scenario. Okay. So they put the Rotom V back in their hand so that it's harder for me to take 2 prizes to win the game. They're not working too hard at the day job, are they? Oh, not at all. I'm not working myself hard enough is what I should say. So they attack with a Radiant Charizard. I have boss's orders for the Pidgeot EX. Yeah, so we just promote the Miraidon. My opponent didn't disrupt my hand, so I think that's it. We future booster capsule plus basic energy. And this is why running big Miraidon EX is so important, again, because of the 220 base. 220, 240, 260, 280. So now we can boss the Pidgeot EX for our final 2 prizes. I don't know what my opponent got off of the quick search. Did they have to find a fire energy off of the quick search, and that's why they couldn't grab the Iono?